have started excavating in preparation for pouring our slab foundation. Unfortunately, we chose to do this by hand because we just really didn't want to use up the money and resources to rent equipment for this small of a job. So we chose to do it the hard way and do it by hand. But it really hasn't taken that long, just a lot of hard work. In preparation for getting the inside ready, we are just laying out where all the kitchen cabinets and the islands are gonna go in the kitchen and living room. And so it feels really small right now because it's just a 450 square foot garage, but by the time we get both additions on, it's gonna be about 1,500 square feet, which is bigger than our last house. So we think it will feel really cozy and really nice. But what I am most excited for is this front wall up by the kitchen. We are going to take all that drywall off and back by the French doors and cover that with natural stone. And so I think that's going to give it a really cozy cottage farmhouse feel. So when we rented the tiller to till up where we need to pour the slab and excavate that, I ran it up here. So the house is all the way down there and then concrete slabs over here. So right across, I think we're gonna do an in-ground garden over here because eventually this slab will be a big outdoor kitchen with a rental on top, but then we're gonna put a big kitchen garden right over here with a bunch of raised beds that I think we're gonna make out of the stone that's on the property. We're gonna mortar together. So this whole side will be raised bed gardens, and then thinking we'll make this strip a big in-ground garden. So I brought some of these plants that I'd started at home. These are mostly just zinnias and some sunflowers. And then I have a couple, where did I put them? I have a couple melons. Oh, they're there. Or actually they're squash, I think. I think it's a butternut squash. So we're gonna get those planted in just to see how things do. See what tries to eat them and see what survives. I had a friend today notice on one of our Instagram stories, and she commented that I always have my ring on while we're doing all of this manual labor. And I'm out here planting all these and looked down and realized that I forgot to take it off because I had full intention to, but I am notoriously forgetful, and either I forget to take it off, or if I take it off then I forget where I put it, which I think that's worse. So I'm like, better odds of it getting lost than getting damaged. So this thing has been around the world and back. So why stop now? All these are going to be black velvet sunflowers, so these should be really pretty dark maroon almost. Yay! First garden space. First of many to come. There's going to be so much space. It's so exciting. So I think The more that I walk around and look over here, on our like 5-year plan that we've kind of sketched out, pretty much all of this year is focused on getting us into our house till the end of this year, and then all of what will be 2024 is really just going to be focused on landscaping, because that is what's going to take the longest to really settle in. And so next year will all be landscaping and getting this kitchen started. But so we've been thinking, like, what trees do we want to take down, because we've got quite a bit around the perimeter here. So I think we're gonna set these woods back 30 feet, 30, 40 feet maybe. And then that will give us from the edge of this road and back a good ways, and then we'll level that out. And I think it's about to rain, so that'll be good to go ahead and get these watered in, because that's the only thing, is we don't have any water piped over here yet. That will also be next on the list, is running lines over here, but we're gonna have to rent equipment for a lot of that stuff. So I think we're kind of trying to group it whenever we need one thing to get everything done at the same time. And I just don't have the capacity to plan that far ahead right now. So we're just gonna get that done so that we can get living here, and then try and be more organized if we need to get the mobile home demolished, and then get some of these garden spaces up, and then really plan out where we want all our water lines and if we want any electric lines over here. So in our plan, we've been trying to brainstorm natural, sustainable ways that we can have pest control, brush control. So we were thinking on getting goats, because then we can possibly get some milking goats and have some dairy and use it for soaps and whatnot. But I was walking around the other day, and I have an app been using, it's called Seek by iNaturalist, and it's one of those apps where you can take a picture and then it'll identify the variety of plant or animal or insect. And we have this, it's called Perilament, that is all over the place, and it smells so good. After I found this, I then went and looked at all the plants that are toxic for goats, and supposedly this is extremely toxic to goats and horses, and it is all over the place. I need to search around, because we were going to put their pen up on that hill for now, but we were going to use them to graze all of the brush area. But if we have this all over the place, I can't do that. So that kind of defeats the purpose of the goats if they can't eat the things that are here. So we need to figure that out before we get them, because obviously I don't want to get an animal and then put them in a place where they have the potential to harm themselves. So that's the predicament we're in at the moment. So I also want to get guinea fowl and chickens. Chickens were first on the list always, but chickens and guinea fowl, because they're supposed to eat a ton of bugs and insects, and we are hoping that at least they'll keep the ticks down, which I haven't seen a tick since we've been out here, knock on wood. I'm sure they're out there, and we're hoping that maybe with the guinea fowl it will help take care of the gnat problem, as well as taking some of these trees down. But Jack doesn't want them because they're supposed to make a lot of noise, so we'll see if that happens. But you see Chips up there? That's our little kitty cat on the hunt. We've got these Japanese honeysuckles everywhere that smell so good. So good. There's a huge one over here, and then there's one over by our water tank over there, and they smell so good. They're probably invasive or not supposed to be here, but I'll check on that later, but they smell really good, so. That's it for today. We got some of this started, the excavation for the slab, and then in the next few days we're gonna get started on the trenching for the rough-in plumbing, and then I just started painting today, so that will be, we'll show y'all what we picked in the next video. I'm so excited we did get some of our garden spaces in. We eventually are gonna have the big raised bed gardens, which I'm very excited about, but I am trying not to even let myself really think about those until the house is done, because we need to get this done, like, so soon. Which we technically don't have our permits yet, so I don't know how much of this we really should have been doing anyway, so please be praying. We are fervently praying that those come back within the next few days and come back approved, and we can get started and just like knock this out super quickly. Which I think, as long as nothing gets held up too bad with inspections and all the government side of it, I think the building will go by fairly quickly. So please be praying that everything gets approved. Thanks for joining. See y'all next time.